healing from it, I learned a lot about the voice, and I thought, I really want to protect everybody else, all of us who are not natively born to this music, to learn how to sing it in a way that's safe and can still have the right sound. So that's my motivation. I'm about safe singing is number one for me. And also that the voice that you're going to be working with is your voice. You're not going to sound like me. You're not going to sound like any recordings that you love. We can't sound like anybody else but ourselves. And so the exploration is to explore, how can my voice in this body sound the most Balkan? So that's what I'm here to do. I use a lot of imagery. If you're not an image person, you can always ignore it. I just want to put that out. I like to work, when I'm working on technique, and especially a lot of you, many of you you have studied with me before, but there's a lot of people here who haven't. I'm going to ask you to not sing a lot. And what I mean by that is to really allow sound to come out of your body without being shaped. So much of the sound of the folk music of the Balkans comes from the sound coming fully up, the air coming up, and then the sound coming fully through an open, available mouth all the way and hitting the bones in the front of the face. That's where that sound, that wonderful edgy sound that we love, that's where that comes from. It comes from the bones. And so when we try to do anything to shape the sound and make it pretty, we often are cutting off what makes us be able to sound more authentically Balkan. And I'm saying Balkan very generally. Yes, it's a big place and there's so much regional and, village differences in language, songs, all that kind of stuff. But the placement is the same throughout the Balkans. The placement is high and forward. And that's because it's linguistically based. So if you're a native English speaker or a native German speaker or a native Hebrew speaker, your placement, my placement, our placement is down and back. I'm not talking pitch, I'm talking about where does the sound end up vibrating. Ours is back. All of the South Slavic languages, their placement is forward. And that's, to me, is where the sound comes from for the music. So we're going to work a lot on placement because that's a lot of what makes the sound. It's not the only thing that makes the sound. But so just to get back to, I'm going to say don't sing, because as soon as we start going, oh, I know how to sing, I know how to make it be pretty, we end up cutting space off. And we need all of that space in there because we're going to use it all to have that sound just be reverberating all the way to the bones in the front of the face. Okay. I wanted to give you my 3 Ps. This is for safe singing. Don't push, so don't try to be loud. Don't sing out of your pitch range. And if you don't know your pitch range, that's okay. But if you feel something and it feels like, ooh, that feels really high, that feels really low, it doesn't feel right, don't sing there. When we're in a group together, it's harder, but since we're all in individual spaces, you can actually pick any note you want in anything that we do, including when we're singing the song. Well, it's going to be harder when I'm droning, but we'll worry about that next week. But just sing don't sing out of your pitch range, because that's the #1 way to injure your voice, is singing out of your pitch range. And the other thing is pain. If you have anything that hurts, that tickles your voice, that makes you cough, which counts, it's not painful, but it counts as a little something, it's a little disturbance, stop. Because that means you're pressing in the throat, and that's another great way to injure yourself, and I don't want to have that happen. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to say now. We're just going to get to work. Okay, so I'm going to have us warm up. I mean, for some of you, it's later in the evening, and for most of us, I mean, this is the thing, it's not 9:30 in the morning. I'm not used to this. Okay, so if you would just stretch and move your body around. And I especially like to think of that I'm rotating my rib cage around. Those lungs we want them to have as much space as possible, because, right, that's what we have is breath to work with. That's all we have to work with is breath. That's it. It's all breath. Okay. And scrunch your faces, Ron. Tight, really wide. Scrunchy, scrunchy, side to side. And then if you stick your tongue out and touch your chin with your tongue and then your nose and flip it back and forth. I can't touch my nose, but some of you can. I'm always jealous. And then let's, if you can flip your tongue, do that. Tongue, very important, very important. And now if you're an R roller, I want you to roll your R, but what I'm doing with it is I'm going to massage the roof of my mouth backwards and forwards. So I'm starting the rolled R behind my teeth and then rolling back up over where my hard palate goes up and then rolling it back down. Just try it. Keep rolling. If you're not an R roller, you can take the tip of your tongue, just the very tip, and massage the roof of your mouth and see how far back that tip can go, and then back and forth. We're trying to wake up the bones in the top of the roof of our mouth. Those bones are important. You'll find, and you can keep rolling or not as you wish, but you'll find that rolling that R, if you use just the tip of your tongue, you have an easier chance of getting it to go further back up over the hard palate. Try rolling it with just the tippy tip. So all of the things that we're going to be doing, you can practice. You know, I'm going to be throwing a lot of things at you and you can practice. And if you live with other people, you will delight them. We hope. Okay, now I'm going to do something. I'm going to blow out my lips. And one of the body work methods talks about having two sets of muscles for your lips. There's your lipstick lips, which is these muscles. And then the rest of the lip muscles are controlled by these muscles of the cheek. And if you put your hands in front of your jaw, like right on your jawbone, go into a ooh kind of sound. Ooh, ooh, and feel how much those muscles are moving. We need this to be very mobile, very malleable. This is where we're like dancers, right here. So I'm going to blow my lips out, and I'm going to blow them out all the way. I'll show you. So just try it. Might want to not spray your screen. Now you can see yourself in your screens. Keep blowing. You can see yourself in your screen. If you can see your teeth, that means you're really blowing out all of these muscles. It's like being able to shake something really out. If all you can do is go, that's a great start. But what we're aiming for is I'm seeing a lot of teeth. That's great. You know, as singers, we're working with breath. So we're working with our whole bodies in terms of breathing. But in terms of the sound gets produced by the vocal cords in the voice box, in the throat. And so everything above that is what creates the sound. So we want to have as much flexibility and, you know, we want to be able to move everything so that it's out of the way for us to be able to make sound. So having really mobile lips and tongue become very important. It's a small place where all this sound has to be working. Okay, now we're going to go and at the same time. Try it. If you're not a roller, keep doing that. If you're not an R roller, feel free to do that tip of your tongue, drag it back and forth while blowing your lips out. What we're trying to get here is independence between lips and tongue. That's very important as singers. We want to be able to say oh and then say toe, 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 and not say oh and then toe, you know, close down. So the tongue has to be able to move independently of the lips. So that's what this exercise is for. Do it one more time. That should get you all buzzy feeling in here. If it is, that's what I'm going for. I'm always looking for the buzz. Okay. We'll start to make some sound. So I do this before I sing, every time I sing. I'm just going to touch every note in my range from top to bottom, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'll show you what it's going to be. And my range is probably smaller and lower than most people's, but I'm just going to touch every note. I'm not going to sing. Here I go. And tons of roughness in there. You heard my break? I've been having horrible allergies, horrible asthma, so my cords are kind of shredded, so you could hear all that. That tells me what I'm working with right now. I had almost no top at all. So I want you to do it. This is in your individual body, in your individual voice. Touch every note, top to bottom, and just let your jaw hang open. Here we go. And I want you to stop before you get to at the bottom. That is called glottal fry, and it's really hard on the vocal cords. So your range is notes but doesn't include the glottal fry. So you may have noticed, I didn't have as much top as I thought, or oh, I had way more top than I thought, or oh, I had a big break in the middle, or oh, the bottom, something was happening down there. It's just information. Who's home today? What are we working with? Let's do it one more time. What I want to say is, if your jaw could just hang while you do it, try that. Here we go. And so the thing that's hard for me is, since I can't hear you, I can't say, oh, yes, I know I heard your break, or oh, I hear the glottal fry at the bottom. You're going to have to monitor yourself. If you are having a break, and if you don't know what the break is, well, here comes the cat, of course. The break is where we change registration in the voice, and there's usually a big clunk there unless we've worked hard to get rid of it. If you're having a break and you're curious about what to do about it, next time we do this, think of the sound coming down the front of your face and just see what that does. So relaxed jaw. Let's do it again. Here we go. And if that worked, don't know. Another thing to do here, one more time, you have your jaws nice and hanging open. Now you can see yourselves in your screen, so be honest. Don't let that jaw close as you're going down. The jaw hits that open position and stays there. And what if your tongue were a wet blanket inside that jaw? And the only thing keeping it in your mouth is your teeth. So let's try the gliss with a wet blanket tongue. Here we go. And okay. Just a great way to check in with what you're singing is like right at this moment, right tonight. Not what you wish it was, not what it was yesterday, not what you hope it'll be tomorrow, but just what we're working with today, right this second. I made a little exercise, so I talked about placement, and placement is, where is the sound vibrating? Where is the sound hitting? And as I said, the placement in the Balkans linguistically is all the way in the front of the face. So that's the placement we're looking for. So I made it a little exercise to sort of explore the real estate that's inside there. So I'll show you. I'm gonna put my placement all the way forward, like way too forward, super nasal, and then I'm gonna walk it back across the roof of my mouth until it's down my throat. I'll show you. How am I singing? How am I singing? How am I singing? How am I singing? If you have a high gag reflex, don't go that far back. So try it. Doesn't have to be on that note, can be on any note that feels good in your body. Just super forward and then just walk it back. Let's try it. Here we go. And how am I singing? what you should get from that is a sense of how much room there is in there. That's all space that the sound can be placed. The sound could be placed all the way back there, like in French, back there. And we're aiming for forward, not nasal, not shoved in the nose, but forward. Do you want to do it one more time? Let's do it one more time. Pick a note, any note, from all the way forward to down your throat. Here we go. And how am I singing? How am I singing? How am I singing? How am I? I just find it useful to get a sense of the space. I like to work with the image that inside of my head is a cathedral, and that's kind of my way in, that I've got all that room inside. Okay, I thought what I would start with, I've got 3 hacks for placement. And somebody that took a workshop that I just finished that I was teaching through Kitka logged on to the last what I was teaching. He said, oh, placement hacks. And I thought, I'm stealing that. That's great. So, and they're all different. But again, these are exercises, you may not get them right now tonight, but these are exercises that you can do during the week and do, forever. Or never again, depending on how you like them. So the first one is, should I stop now for questions? No. Are there any questions? No. Perfect. Okay. The first one, I'm going to place a giant propeller on the front of my face. This is where, for those of you who don't like images, you're not going to like this one. I have a giant propeller, and when I say giant, it's bigger than my house. What I'm going for is a metallic sound that is literally right here. So I'll show you. It's just right there. It's not in my throat. I am lowering my jaw so to make sure that I'm not clenching my jaw when I'm making that sound. So some people, if you don't like a propeller, I like it because it's metal and I want that metal sound. Some people have liked having a big bee. Some people liked having an angry bee, which to me seems difficult, but just try it. Again, any note that feels right for you, just see if you can find a sound that's just here. Here we go. And okay. How's that going? Thumbs up, thumbs medium, thumbs down? Medium, yeah. It's hard to find. Sometimes what happens when we aim forward in our minds, what happens is we end up in the throat. If you feel like, I don't really know what she's talking about, you could put your propeller over your head and aim the sound there. This has worked for many people. So I know it sounds crazy, but go ahead and put your propeller or your bee or whatever other metallic creating sound you're using above your head, but right up, right in front. Let's try it again. Maybe try a different note. A different note might work for you. Here we go. And okay. I actually feel like I'm a bee right now. See if you want to be a bee. Switch notes again. If you think that's changing notes may make a big difference. Higher sometimes is a little easier to hear up here. I mean to feel. And my voice is I'm not going right. My soft palate is staying closed in the back to keep that nasal sound. I am not saying I'm I guess I am. That's not my thought, but no, because would be with my tongue behind my teeth, and my tongue is not behind my teeth. My tongue is down in the front. The back is up because it's closed to keep the sound from shifting. Does that help? It's more like Yeah, I'm saying Just try that. That gets it in the right place too. All right, now try the propeller or be a bee or anything else. Here we go. And that helping? You getting anywhere? Okay, we got a thumbs up. Got 2 thumbs up. Sweet. 3 thumbs up. Yes, we're on a roll. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to establish that sound here, and then I'm going to close my lips and I'm going to expand that sound down through. I need Bartholomew for this. This is Bartholomew. I'm going to expand, the sound is here, and I'm going to expand it so that it goes down all the way into like my lips, and then I'm going to open my lips. Thank you, Bartholomew. I'll show you. This is really just about how it feels. A lot of the stuff that I work with is how it feels, because that's what we have to work with. Me. Established it. Then I'm closing my lips. Me. And I don't know how well it comes across in Zoom. In person, you can really hear the sound expanding down. The image I like is it's like it's silly putty or bubble gum, that the sound starts here and then it's pulled down here. And only then I just open my mouth and see if the sound flies out. I'll do it one more time. Me. And you hear how that sound, I just open and it just pops out. So try it on your own note, in your own body, take your own time. Here we go, and. Me. And just keep trying it a bunch of times. Me. And take a break. How's that working? This one is hard to get. I like to start with it though because it has the most bang for its buck in a way. I've got to watch time. We're good. Try it one more time. And again, try changing your note. Another note might be more felicitous for you. So try, my soft palate is lifted. Yes, it is indeed. Yeah, I'm basically going in the back. Okay, so try it again. Establish that sound here. And you know, listen, wait a second. If you can't get this going, then don't worry about expanding it into the mouth. If you feel like, yeah, I kind of get what she means here, then try expanding it down. But, you know, doesn't have to all happen at the same time. Here we go. And me. You can try it a few times. Okay. And we can abandon that one for now. So that's the propeller. So my next placement hack is, one of the ways we can tell if our placement is in the front of our faces is if our lips buzz. So I want you just to buzz around in your range and find notes where your lips buzz. And you may only find one, you may find a million. But so just buzz around, just hum around in your range. And find a note or two where your lips buzz. And I just want you to buzz on that note for a little bit. And while you're buzzing on that note, play around with, are your teeth open or are they together? They could be open. And what's your tongue doing while you're buzzing? While you're just humming and your lips are buzzing, what's your tongue up to? Is it up? Is it down? If you move it around, does it change the buzz at all? Okay, you can stop that. Um, that should feel really irritating. Sorry. I like it if people are like, ugh. So what I want to do now is on whatever your buzzy note is, and you can try different notes, um, that you get a buzz going, and then you just open into an ah and close back up again, and I'll show you. Mm, mum, 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 mum. I call this the mechanical baby because I feel like I'm a mechanical baby. So just do that. Find a note that's buzzy. The thing that keeps you honest is your lips have to buzz every time they're together. Mm, mum, 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 mum. If you're not feeling buzz, try a different note. If you're feeling buzz and then it feels like it goes away every time you open your mouth, don't let it. What's the deal? So the deal is I'm not singing. This is another place where I am not singing. I'm not going, mom, mom, ma. I'm literally putting the sound on my lips and then opening my lips and the sound falls out. So, mom, mom, mom. It's a mechanical thing that's happening. The sound is here in my lips. When my mouth opens, the sound falls out. And then when my mouth closes again, my lips are still buzzing because the sound didn't go anywhere. Okay, so try it. You might want to try a different note. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Here we go. And mum, 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 mum. So again, the lips should still be like itchy, itchy buzzy. If you can't stand it, you're doing it right. That's a great way to advertise what I do. So that's placement hack number 2. Placement hack number 3 is, I've just been working with this one recently. I'm going to put my placement, you know how we did the how am I singing and the placement was all the way forward? I'm going to do that on purpose and be super nasal. And I'm just going to pick some random notes for myself. I'm just going to go, ma, 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 ma. Super nasal. Ma, 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 ma. Try it. Ma, 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 ma. Any notes, doesn't have to be mine. Ma, 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 ma. You should, if you're really nasal, you should feel an enormous amount of sound energy coming right out the front. That's what we're looking for. And again, try different notes. If you're not finding it and you feel, I don't know, go higher, go lower, mess around. Ma, 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 ma. Ma, 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 ma. This is definitely not singing. Ma, 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 ma. Ma, 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 ma. We can then do that on all the vowels. So we can go ma, 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 ma. Do that. Ma, 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 ma. Now we can go meh, 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 meh. Nasal. Meh, 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 meh. Mm-hmm. And now me, 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 me. Nasal. Me, 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 me. And mo, 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 mo. That's hard to be nasal on. Try it. Mo, 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 mo. And moo, 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 moo. Try it. Moo, 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 moo. Mm-hmm. So that nasal placement, that all the way nasal is not the right sound. But for those of us for whom forward placement is foreign, nasal is kind of like we're going too far in the tunnel and then we can always pull it back. It helps open up that front. So when in doubt, do that particular exercise to be nasal in. Okay, so those are the placement hacks. So I also wanted to work on vowels and get started on those because next week we're going to start working on a song. And when we're singing music from the Balkans, what creates that sound? Well, there's the placement. There's also the languages, how they're pronounced. There's also the ornaments, and there's also the rhythms. And all of those things make for the sound being right. You could have very far forward placement, have great placement, and if you're not pronouncing the language correctly, it's not going to sound right. And that goes with everything. You know, you could have great ornaments and terrible placement, you know, really far back placement, and that's not going to sound right. You could have great pronunciation and bad placement, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the vowels are super important. I mean, as singers, that's what we work with. We work with vowels. We have to use the consonants because they make the words, and we're singing beautiful lyrics, which we love. But if we could have our druthers, we would just sing on vowels, right? So one of the great things about the languages from the Southern Balkans is that the vowels are all open, plain vowels. They're not our nice American vowels with diphthongs in the end. So they're nice singing vowels. They're beautiful languages to sing in. And I like to think that all the vowels are vertical. They're all vertical. And that we have to find a way to make them be vertical in our mouths. So I'm going to start with let's go ma. Any place you want in your range. Ma! How vertical can you be? Look at yourself in your screen. Ma! Ma! Now, I am placing that super forward. I mean, we just were working on placement, and I'm now throwing vowel shapes at you, but if so you could be going ma, ma. But if you want to, you remember that nasal thing we just did, you could go ma, ma. Keep trying it. Ma, vertical. Ma. I'm not going ma. See? I'm not doing that. Ma. The reason it's important to keep that shape, keep the lips in front of the teeth whenever possible, as much as possible, is because, again, our placement, our sound is filling our entire mouths and wants to go to the bones in the front of the face. The second our lips pull back, we just lost that much space, which isn't a lot of space in the world, but in our tiny universe of resonance, we don't want to lose any of it. So ideally, the lips are in front of the teeth or right around the teeth and not back behind them. Some of the vowels are more challenging than others. So now we're going to go mame. Try that. Vertical eh. Mame. 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 I am saying meh. I'm not saying may. There's no E on the end of it. It's just a plain meh. Meh. Just try that. Meh. Meh. How vertical can it be? Meh. Meh. When I'm talking vertical, I'm talking two things. I'm talking the space inside, the shape in my mind inside is vertical. And I'm also trying to make my lips be as vertical as they can be. On an eh, and just between you and me, this is my least favorite vowel. On an eh, it's tricky to keep the lips vertical because they have to make a shape to make the sound. But how vertical can we be? Mame. Try that. Mame. Let's keep doing mame. 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 That's looking very singerly of you. Very nice. So now we're going to do a vertical E. Mommy. Just try that. Mommy. What has to happen to the lips if we're going to keep that ah shape inside on that E? The lips have to come all the way around to the front, and I like to think of them as if they're making this kind of shape. Mommy. 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 I always like to think that the sound in I'm going to take his lower jaw off. No, I guess I'm not. I don't need him. The sound is in there. in that space behind my teeth where the hard palate is up, that's where the sound is. And it's like I can feel this triangle of sound. So even with these vowels, mommy, I'm feeling the sound there. See if you can find that. Mommy, 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 mommy. And now watch for O. There's more lips that have to come around. Mamo, 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 mamo. And stop for a sec. It's not an English O. There's no at the end of it. It's O. Just say that. O. O. I mean, if you speak other languages besides English, you know, this is how most languages' vowels are, right? It's like ours are, well, not every language actually, but a lot of them. And all the ones that are nice to sing in the vowels are like this. Mamo, 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 mamo. There's an ah inside that O. See if you can find it. Mamo, mamo, mamo. And now we'll do the one that for many people is hard. We're going to say ooh, ooh. Just say that vowel, ooh, ooh. And remember how we were talking about these muscles? Ooh is where this really shows up. Ooh, ooh. So, mamu, 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 mamu. Them's all the vowels. Let's do some. So if this isn't a good pitch for you, I'm going to be going up by half steps. If it's not a good pitch for you, don't sing it. We're just going to do long tones on those vowels and just see if we can get a sense of, I want you to do them nasally is what I'm going to say. So I'm going to go, ma, me, me, mo, mu. I am not singing. I'm not going, ma, me. I'm trying to get my lips to buzz. I'm giving us all these M's for our lips to buzz on if we can. If you go nasal, that may help the lip buzz. This may not be a good note for you for lip buzzing, but let's just try it. Here we go. And ma, me, me, mo, mu. Try it here. Don't sing. Buzz your lips and ma, me, me, mo, mu. What we're looking for is that the sound stays in the same place for all the vowels. That's our goal. One of our goals in having technique is that all of our vowels, no matter what pitch they're on, can have the same sound so that our voice is consistent. Try it here or whatever note is the next note for you. And ma, me, me, mo, mo. Can you find an ah in every vowel? And ma, me, me, mo, mu. I'm really letting my lips buzz in between, even though these are not particularly buzzy notes for me. Let's try here and ma, me, me, mo, mu. And mom, me, mom, mom. If you have to change octaves, go ahead and do it. And mom, me, mom, mo. I'm not a very good piano player at all, as you can tell. Here we go. And mom, me, mom, mom. I'm going to go down, do whatever you need, and mom, me, mom, mom. Yeah, this will be our last one, and mom, me, mom, mo. Okay, that's all the vowels we're going to be using. That's not actually all of them. There is one more, which is Just say that. It's not the most delightful sound to sing on, but there we have it. Let's see. What should we do now? Do you want to go back over the hacks? Do you have questions? This is what I would do in a real class, but we're not all together in the same room. Let's do, you know what I want you to do? I want you just to hum. Just hum. Hum in your range. See where your lips buzz. If ever your voice is tired, or you feel like you've been working in a way that isn't necessarily the best for your voice, humming is the most relaxing thing you can do. And why is that? It's because it puts the placement all the way in the front. But I learned that actually from my bel canto, my Western singing teacher, was to hum if my voice was feeling scratchy and tired, which kind of is today. Ma, me, ma, 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 ma. Ma, 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 ma. Let's just do that. Again, if this isn't a good pitch for you, choose a different one. I'm just going ma, 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 ma. So this is basically the nasal exercise, but with pitches. Ma, 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 ma. Try it. Ma, 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 ma. We're going to do me, 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 me. Try it. Me, 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 me. I'm super forwardly placed. I'm super nasal and my lips are buzzing also. And so I don't know if you can, I don't know how well you can hear it, but the sound is just, it feels like it's flying out of my mouth. That's what we're looking for. So often when we're singing music from the Balkans, we hear that loud, bright sound and we think, oh my gosh, we've got to go do some mighty shoving something up there. And it's the opposite. It's really getting out of the way and letting the sound come all the way to the front. And when it comes to the front, you literally get the sense of the sound falling out your mouth. It just goes whomp. Ma, me, 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 me. Try it. Me, 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 me. Nasal, nasal. Ma, 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 ma. Try it. Ma, 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 ma. Are your lips coming around? How vertical is that? Oh, I'm making you think of so many things. That's singing, isn't it?
No. Suggestion.
Mo, 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 mo. Try it. Mo, 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 mo. You may find that different vowels are easier to feel in that forward place and different vowels are harder. That's true from my experience for all of us. In general, we seem to have more trouble with o and oo because when we speak them, they're a more closed sound. I like to talk about that we as singers have a different set of vowels. We have singing vowels, and those are different from our spoken vowels because we could say no, 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 We don't have to open our mouths to say that, but if we're going to sing, we have to go, no, 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 because that lets the sound come out.
Michelle?
So, is somebody
Oh,
saying something?
one suggestion, if when we do an exercise, if you can sing it and then alternate so we can sing it and hear ourselves as we're doing it then.
Got you. That's a great idea. Thank you. Makes sense. Because, yeah, you can't hear yourselves. Let's go, man, 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 man. Now you. Me, 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 me. Now you. Mo, 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 mo. Now you. Moo, 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 moo. Now you. Ma, 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 ma. Meh, 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 meh. Me, 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 me. Okay, I just got a very good question from Jenny asking when should we switch to falsetto? Great question. So, this is an important part of singing this music. Um, if you study with native singers, they will say they never use head voice. I don't actually like the terms head voice and chest voice. I find them to be misleading. And people sometimes think that they actually have a voice that comes from their chest, which is physically impossible. So so I've been using the terms upper voice and lower voice just because there is a distinction. This is one of my things that I love. I'm endlessly fascinated by the break, and I read a lot about it. And if I could get a PhD in it, I would. So we have those two registrations in our voices, and actually sopranos probably have something else. I'm not a soprano, but I've heard tell. But the two main ones are our speaking voice, and then we have, I mean, what I heard once was that the break is the note above which we are not used to speaking. So if that makes sense, that where that note where your break is in your voice is the note above which you are not used to speaking. And if you think of how much time, how much speaking we have done in these bodies, that gets pretty hardwired in. I mean, it depends on how, it depends on our anatomy. There's a million things it depends on, but it gets pretty hardwired in. And your break is usually going to be, I mean, in one place, and it's always good to know where your break is. And of course, guys, I'm mostly talking to women here, although, I mean, you guys can use falsetto, but in the Balkans, you wouldn't. Because what they talk about is that you use your speaking voice to sing. I mean, many Bulgarian teachers that I've studied with will say, well, you just go, hey, hey, and you're doing it. Well, that works fine until you get above your break or get to your break, really. And then what are you supposed to do? And they'll say, oh, well, no, you don't go up there. But you do. Sopranos do. And so what it is, I mean, I work with almost exclusively sopranos, my private students, which is hilarious because I can barely make it above a D, above middle C. But um, it's all about the placement. So there's two things. One is getting accustomed and building tolerance for maneuvering around your break. And those of you who've studied with me, you've heard me give this spiel a million, trillion times. But the truth is, we're scared of our breaks. And our bodies go, no. And when our bodies go, no, when we hit that break, we just lost all of our technique. So knowing where your break is, building tolerance for it is super important. Building tolerance means going, ma, 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 ma. That's across my break. Ma, 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 ma. And just going across my break. Just try to cross your break. If you know where your break is, find your break and just do a note above it and a note below it. Ma, 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 ma. Try it. And you may find that when you're doing that, you go, mama, mama. That's okay. That's part of building tolerance for it. The note exists. We have to be able to sing it. We just have to learn how to work it. If you're singing above your break or around your break, singing Balkan material, your placement has to be all the way forward, all the way. And for those of us who are used to singing in head voice, our head voice sort of naturally is a little bit further back. We soften it up a little bit. It's a little bit sweeter and a little bit covered. And that is what is a dead giveaway that you are not singing Balkan stuff. So that's the main thing, is about the placement, but it's about building tolerance. So Athena just asked me, how can you find your break? The easiest way is if you have access to a piano or something on your phone. Um, Actually, the exercise we did at the beginning, the gliss, I'm just going, ah, that was my break. I normally disguise it, but that was my break. And so if you do that exercise and you have something that has a pitch on it, you can then figure out what pitch it is, because it's going to be on one pitch. It's one place in your body. And someone else asked a question, but it went by too fast. Was there another question? No. Okay. Um, so I like to talk about it as being mixed tone. And I know sopranos are used to that term. For somebody like me who's like, alto tenor, mixed tone was a complete, it's like, what is that? And I get it now. It's like we're shading. I mean, and we have to stop soon, and I didn't want to talk this much, but since we talked about falsetto, you can't go into a falsetto that's a back falsetto. If your falsetto is forward, then you might be able to get away with it. But the idea is that the feeling in the mouth is not going to change from your lower voice to your upper voice. Ma, 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 ma. That was a lousy break, but the tone didn't change. I mean, I had a blip on the break, but you could tell that the sound, my intention of that sound was in the same place. Try it. Try above your break and go over your break. Wherever that note is, go. And if you don't know where your break is, then that's going to be something fun you can hunt for. Try singing higher than you're used to. Just do a scale down, sing higher than you used to, and go across your break. See how forward you can be at that top, though. Okay. I didn't think we were going to get into the break tonight, but thanks for asking. It's a really good question. What do I do when I get there? So if you don't know where your break is, see if you can figure out a way to find it. I mean, if I could see you individually, I could help you with that. It's one of the things I like to do, is to find where people's breaks are. And I think we're almost at the end. Are we at the end? Oh, managers of the event? Okay, so we are, I think we still have another minute. Where were we? Ma, 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 ma. Just do a gliss now. Just easy, no singing. Relaxed jaw, wet blanket tongue, every note in your range, top to bottom. Just hit them. Here we go. And I didn't demo it because I just wanted you to do it. Let's do it again. Just you guys. Here we go. And what I want to say about that is that's an ah vowel. So if you're singing a nice vertical ah, that might work here. Try it one more time. Okay, well, I think we are at the end. Thanks so much for showing up tonight. Um, there's going to be a Facebook. I think Jenna sent out an email. I wanted to give you my email In case you want to hit me up with questions, I am obsessed with sound making in the human body. So if you have any questions, either of things that came up tonight or things you've always wondered about, um, feel free to hit me up because I really do. I have kind of a problem with being too curious about this stuff. Next week, we're going to start learning a song. It's going to be a diaphonic, a two-part song with a drone, and I will get the words to you before the class. So stay tuned for that. And thank you all. Be safe, be well, sing safely, place forward, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Thank you.